humid 73. Friday, sunny, hot and humid 93. Keep that going through the weekend. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Right now we have sunny skies, 92 degrees in Florissant. It's 88 in St. Peter's, 90 downtown at the Arch. And again, our top story, we've got a reporter en route to the scene of a helicopter that reportedly crashed into a barge on the Mississippi River near the Melvin Price Locks and Dam. That's in the Alton, Illinois area. We understand that that barge was on fire for a time. The Coast Guard reportedly on the scene, along with a number of other emergency crews. We cannot confirm details at this point with the Coast Guard, and there are some backups as you are on the 67 Clark Bridge in both directions that was shut down for a time. Stay with KMOX for the latest on this story. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Cardinal Cowboy here. For over 65 years, Renner Garage Door has delivered top-notch service, sales, and installation. Get your free estimate today. RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
This is the Gashouse Gang on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer. And by Anderson Hospital, a Newsweek World's Best Hospital. Now the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
Here it is from O'Brien. A swing and a ground ball up the middle. Donovan backhands, plants, throws. He got him for a Redbird winner. A Redbird winner at Dodger Stadium. And the Cardinals take 2 out of 3 from L.A. and finish the road trip 3-3.
There you go. Nice series for the Cardinals in Los Angeles against a very good Dodgers team. And they will now come back home for a series against the Cubs at Busch Stadium. Glad you're with us on the Gashouse Gang. Bernie Miklasz and Chris Ranji today. The number is 314-436-7900. We're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, KMOX Sports, or you can search out Gashouse Gang and find us. And if you want to comment or leave a question, whatever you want to, on any of those platforms, we're going to see it here. You can also text in at 314-436-7900. So also on the show, I want to mention that we'll spend a little time talking football because at 12:30, Aaron Schatz from the FTN Fantasy, he's a chief analytics officer there, NFL analyst, will join the show. Training camp is going on around the league, so we're getting closer and closer to football season. But Bernie, right now, post-trade deadline, we are well removed from that. In fact, we're, a week from the trade deadline now, and the Cardinals won that series against the Dodgers. We know what the rest of the season is going to be. I can't help but think about this Cubs series, however, because going back to the 4th of July, when the Cardinals and Cubs met for the first time at Wrigley Field, that was a big series going in because the two teams were a little closer in the standings. There seemed to be more that was at stake there. It's still a big series. It's still a lot of fun when the Cubs come to town, but it's just not quite what we thought it was going to be when the Cubs finally made it to Busch Stadium.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Raj. And by the way, always great to be with you, my friend. I love one aspect of this series from a St. Louis perspective. You know, the Cardinals have a chance to really inflict more damage on the Cubs. I mean, the Cubs trail the Brewers by 4 games. Now, who would have thunk that? Listen, I'm kind of a Brewers are brilliant type guy, always talking about how smart they are. But I did not expect them on August the 7th to be leading the Cubs by 4 games in the NL Central. So the Cubs have been very erratic. They didn't get nearly enough done at the deadline as I think most people thought they would. And let me just do this very, very quickly. So as they come into St. Louis, the Cubs are basically a 500 team their last 40 games or so. I mean, there's nothing special about them. They have special qualities, but they're a little thin in the rotation. The offense has got some holes, and they've just been kind of mucking around for a couple of months. So the idea that the Cubs, armed with that huge payroll, getting Kyle Tucker, having a breakout from Pete Crow Armstrong, the idea that they may get embarrassed and maybe humiliated by losing this division to a Milwaukee team that's got about 130 $13 million payroll, 120 million tops. I think that's delicious. I mean, I think Cardinals fans would really get a kick out of seeing the Cardinals maybe pushing the Cubs back another game or two in those standings.
Of course, they'd love it. Here's the other side of it, though, because if you're a Cardinals fan, and this is kind of what I'm doing when I think about the Brewers, it might be that same feeling that I believe a lot of Cubs fans used to feel about the Cardinals. And when the Cardinals were continually good and always competitive, making the playoffs, there was this, oh, come on, how? Like, how are they doing this again? And I am having the same feeling about the Brewers. Again, I thought they were done. We talked about this a bunch, Bernie. I thought they were done 2 months ago. And here they go. They have the best run differential in the sport. They're on another long win streak, this time of 6 games. They've won 9 of their last 10. It's just, how are they doing it? And I know pitching, of course, but I mean, just how is the organization doing this? They lose guys out of the bullpen. They lose their manager, and they continually find ways to win. How is this happening? And the second part of this question, Bernie, I asked of Matt Pauley earlier, what can the Cardinals learn from it?
I think the Cardinals have already learned from it, and from the standpoint that Bill DeWitt decided, well, we've got to go in a new direction. We have to restore some things that we've lost, like including the player development system and our ability to evaluate players. And that's why they brought in Chaim Bloom. And Chaim Bloom is out of the Tampa Bay model that has produced a tremendous list of general managers and very smart people. So the Cardinals have increased the Cardinals increased their baseball IQ by an immense amount when they hired Chaim Bloom, put him in charge of redoing the minor league system, which is already starting to provide results. And then also just being able to put together a better roster and find value in players and put the emphasis on what's really important, which is a foundation the Cardinals once had for a long time, but they let it slip away. So the Cardinals will at least close the gap to a certain point soon in that matchup against the Milwaukee front office, and that's where it really starts. But the Brewers, from a baseball standpoint, because I don't want to get too deep in the weeds with analytics and all that, but from a baseball standpoint, the Brewers never run out of starting pitching. It just doesn't matter who leaves, who gets hurt, who they trade, who they don't sign. They always have a surplus of starting pitching. And then what they do is, like, Quinn Priester's a great example. Here's a guy that 2 organizations gave up on, and he was a very high draft pick when he came into the draft. The Pirates gave up on him. The Red Sox gave up on him. The Brewers traded a supplemental draft pick to the Red Sox to get Quinn Priester. You know why? Because they're analytics people, and here's one analytics thing. They watched tape on him and studied all the data, and they said he's got a great sinker ball, and when he throws it low and away, like it's one of the best sinker balls in the major leagues, but he doesn't throw it. So they got him, and people are like, well, what are they doing that for? So they got Quinn Priester, and they sat him down, and they told him, look, you're throwing this pitch. You have a great pitch that you don't use. You're going to throw the pitch, okay? So, okay, he's throwing the pitch, and he's one of the most – he's like one of the best surprise stories of the season. That's an example. The other thing, I'll give you a story on this. So they trade a pitcher who was out of favor and who wanted out, Aaron Savali. They trade him to the White Sox for Andrew Vaughn, who was a bust.
Yeah.
The Padres gave up on him. The White Sox wanted him. The White Sox demoted him. So the Brewers get Andrew Vaughn, and it's kind of like, well, what do they see in him? He's kind of a bust. Well, the first meeting he has with the manager of the Brewers, Pat Murphy, who's awesome, he sits him down and he just says, look, man, I believe in being straight. He said, I'm not going to BS you. He said, you swing at way too many pitches out of the strike zone, and that's why you're in the minor leagues. We're going to give you a chance to be in the major leagues. But I'm going to tell you this right now. Unless you start swinging at strikes, you're not going to last here. You're going to be back in the minors. Swing at strikes. Quit chasing junk. And Pat Murphy just didn't say, hey, here's what we suggest. This is what we think you should do. No, he gave him an edict. You either swing at strikes or you're back in the minors. And all the Brewers players say that the manager and the front office say, look, this is exactly what you have to do. We're trying to help you do it. And it works way more times than not. And they're just an amazing operation from the front office all the way down. And the other thing, baseball wise, to me is huge. What you say, well, what separates them from the Cardinals? Because the Brewers don't have a lot of power. The Brewers and Cardinals have pretty much got the same number of home runs. The Brewers are like 22nd in the majors in doubles. You know what the Brewers have? They have athletes. They lead the National League in stolen bases. They take great advantage of their speed on the base pass, like going first to third and all that stuff. They play excellent small ball, which the Cardinals don't at all. And the Brewers have, because of their speed and because of their fundamental, how wonderful they are fundamentally, they have so many different ways of scoring runs. So they don't really go into extended slumps because they're not overly reliant on home runs. They play an all-around offensive game, and their speed and athleticism, frankly, just blows the Cardinals away.
It's amazing. And you mentioned the lack of power by the Brewers, who are 22nd in home runs in the sport. Other than them and the Padres, all of the bottom 10 teams are really not all that competitive this year. So if you got a bottom 10 team in home runs, it's likely you're not chasing playoffs at the moment, unless you can pitch really, really well. And if you can pitch really well, you can win a lot of low-scoring games. You can win a lot of 4-3 games or 3-1 games or whatever, because you've got that pitching staff, and the Brewers absolutely have that. And Mark, who is watching this on YouTube, he says it's pitching period at this point.
Yeah.
And that's right. And the Brewers are exceptional at it. They lose guys off the roster, and they continue to pitch well.
Because they know how to find guys like Quinn Priester, who everybody overlooks. There's a lot of examples of that. You look at the Brewers right now going into, as of going into today, they have the number 2 starting pitching ERA in the majors, and their bullpen is really good. And so they're excellent at run prevention because they also play really, really good defense. But they have more starting pitchers than they know what to do with, which is why they flipped Nestor Cortez at the deadline to get a speedy outfielder who they thought could be from the Padres, a speedy outfielder who they thought could help them maybe bat leadoff and even steal more bases than they're already stealing.
That's Bernie Miklasz. I'm Chris Ranji. This is the Gashouse Gang, and it's brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com, also by Anderson Hospital. It's good to have you with us today. We're going to talk a little more sports until 1 o'clock. Then the Dave Glover Show happens. Don't forget, we'll talk football with Aaron Schatz. NFL training camp is going on right now, and Aaron will join the show just after 12:30 on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Named one of Newsweek's world's best hospitals for 2025, Anderson Hospital is your hospital for life, delivering exceptional, compassionate care to families across the Metro East. From emergency services to specialized treatments, our dedicated team supports your health at every stage. Experience world-class care close to home. Discover the difference at andersonhospital.org.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040.
When you get hurt, you don't want to end up on the injured list. You want to get back in the game stronger than ever. At Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, we fight for you, making sure big insurance doesn't throw you a curveball. With over $25 billion recovered, we're the home run hitters you need.
This is way out there and gone.
Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Proud sponsor of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
You've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine. You could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt, but you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market for a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Well, not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. And listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. So that's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. You cash out your entire home's value and stay put. TrueHold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. So imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt and stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. You get an all-cash offer now by calling 1-855-300-9993. You can also visit TrueHold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum, Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
News, talk, cards. 104.1 FM KMOX.
A swing, and there's a fly ball center field. That's hit deep. Pies can't catch it. The ball's off the wall. One run's going to score, and stopping over at third, Herrera on the RBI double by Nootbaar. The Cardinals lead 5-3.
Cardinals at Busch Stadium this weekend coming up against the Cubs. The series gets started tomorrow. Off day today for our hometown team. And you're with us here on the Gashouse Gang. Our number, you've got it, 314-436-7900. Bernie Miklas and Chris Ranji. We also just want to let you know a little sidebar here. We are expecting at the bottom of the hour, we believe we're going to have an update on the apparent helicopter crash, which happened near Alton, near the river, crashed into a barge from what we are hearing. We have a reporter who is on scene, so we're going to get a little update on that right here at the bottom of the hour coming up before we get to Aaron Schatz, who is joining the show talking a little football today. Bernie, you had you'd done a video for STL Sports Central about Nolan Gorman and the possibility of him being dealt during this offseason. And it's an interesting idea because we know going into the offseason for the Cardinals, there's going to have to be a lot of changes, you would think. I don't know if it's going to be a complete overhaul of what the roster is, but you have to figure a lot will be different going into 2026. Not that it's going to be an acquisition of all these free agents and suddenly the Cardinals are going to be hyper competitive next year, but the roster is still going to look different. And I think I don't know if we're really, other than what you said on that video, I don't know that most of us are really considering or talking much about the future of Gorman and the possibility he's not here. I think a lot of us just kind of expect that he's going to be back next year and get good playing time, but maybe that doesn't happen.
Yeah, and in the video, just so I didn't predict he'd be traded. I just think there's a chance, and there would, like you, there would have been a time not that long ago where I would have thought there's just no way they're going to trade him because it's an organization that is pathetically low on power. And Nolan Gorman, despite his problems with plate discipline, and he's gotten better this year, but He's got a .432 career slugging percentage.
Hey, Bernie, sorry to cut you off, but we need to go to the newsroom, and Michael Calhoun is with us now with an update.
Of the helicopter crash in Alton on the river, let's go to Sean Malone with the fire chief.
This time. A lot of agencies responded to this, a lot of mutual aid.
Yes, we had a lot of our mutual aid companies responded very quickly and helped us out. Now it's just time to wait for NTSB and the FAA to show up and continue their investigation.
Is the helicopter still on the barge, or is it partially in the river?
No, it's still on the barge at this time.
And as far as you know, it was making an emergency landing, and eyewitness told us that the helicopter hit one of the wires as it was replacing the balls on the top wires.
I don't know the specifics of that at this time. That'll come from the investigation.
Right. Deputy Chief Fisher, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that update on the investigation.
You've been listening live from the scene on the banks of the Mississippi River,
That we're learning here.
where a helicopter has crashed. As we understand it, this helicopter clipped some power lines and then crashed into the Mississippi River into a barge that was on the river. The wreckage can be seen from above of this helicopter. Just talking with St. Charles County Ambulance about possible fatalities from this. They are on the scene. Several fire districts from both the Missouri and Illinois sides of the river are responding to this. Again, that was Sean Malone and other reporters with the Deputy Fire Chief of Alton. Our breaking news on KMOX at 12:24, a helicopter has crashed into a barge in the Mississippi River. We'll continue to track this, and we will break in if there's anything that comes from this. Let's see if we can go back to Sean Malone and the scene. Sean, what can you describe, especially for people who are just tuning in? This is, they're on the radio, they can't see these images. What are you able to describe for people about what's happened here?
Well, it doesn't look as dramatic as the scene unfortunately is. We're on the Illinois side of the river. The barge is on the Mississippi side of the river, parked along the side of the river against the tree line that's there. There's no smoke that's billowing out or anything like that. And there is a tugboat that's in our way right now. But what we've been told is that the helicopter crashed on the opposite side of the tugboat. There were two individuals in the helicopter. Both are deceased, according to the Deputy Fire Chief Fisher with the Alton Fire Department. And right now he says that the helicopter is still on the barge. It is not in the river at this point in time.
Sean, so we can confirm at this point two fatalities, the two people on board the helicopter?
Correct. The two people that were on board the helicopter are we're being told are deceased. That's coming from the Alton Fire Department and their deputy fire chief, who you just heard not long ago. Those were the two occupants that were on the helicopter. We don't have any information at this time that suggests that there are any further injuries to anyone that was on the barge.
And from what I understand, it is a massive response from fire districts, search and rescue crews, potentially hazmat response because of the fuel on that helicopter. Agencies from St. Charles County to North St. Louis County to the Metro East. It sounds as if there's a massive response there.
Absolutely. On both sides of the river, you can see emergency lights flickering off in the distance out on the Mississippi side, here on the Illinois side as well. And I actually, to pull the curtain back a little bit, was a little confused as to where the scene was, because I saw a helicopter lifting off from a different part on the Mississippi side of the river from where the barge is. So all up and down the river on both sides, there is a large first responder presence to show you just how collectively the response has been.
And Sean, just to catch people up before we head back to the Gashouse Gang, kind of recap for us. We jumped in late after the deputy fire chief had already begun speaking. So give us the main points of what we need to know about this dramatic and seemingly now, unfortunately, deadly situation on the river.
Yeah, so a helicopter with two occupants in it that was doing work on the electrical lines that go across the Mississippi River crashed into a barge. The occupants of those two, the two occupants of the helicopter, are pronounced dead at the scene. We don't have any information as to what led to the crash per se. Right now, the helicopter does remain. It is still sitting on top of the barge at this time. We have heard that the wires are no longer live that are in the water, and also that there is no fire that we can at least see from this side of the river looking across at the scene on the Missouri side of the river. No smoke, no scene of a fire or anything like that on the barge.
And it's an important point that the wires are no longer live, especially being in the Mississippi River there. Sean, thank you so much for getting us up to speed on this. And, of course, we'll go back to you if anything else breaks within the next hour and hear from you at 1.
You got it.
That is KMOX's Sean Malone on the scene. Sounds like on the Illinois Bank at Alton, looking at that wreckage of the helicopter that crashed after clipping power lines, crashed into a barge, and 2 people have confirmed to have died in this incident. We'll have the latest for you coming up at 1 o'clock sooner if any details break on KMOX.
All right. Thank you, Michael Calhoun and Sean Malone, who was on scene in Alton where that helicopter crash occurred. It's Bernie Miklas and Chris Ranji on the Gashouse Gang. We appreciate you sticking with us. And as Michael said, if anything new develops before 1 o'clock, we will break in with that right here on KMOX. We appreciate you again listening to the Gashouse Gang, which is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com, also by Anderson Hospital. Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right, nice, soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
Just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Mostly cloudy and 92 degrees in St. Louis. AccuWeather Real Feel is 107. Could see some storms and rain this afternoon coming up. The weather brought to you by Pine Valley Assisted Living of Arnold.
Join Pine Valley Assisted Living of Arnold for a free movie day to see Freakier Friday on August 20th at 10 a.m. at the Arnold Cinema, which includes soda and popcorn. RSVP to Lisa Brennan, 314-283-5669.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about 213 Complex, which is available at Supplement Superstores. It is the most effective and powerful all-natural weight loss supplement ever developed. Here's what it does for me and what it will do for you. Optimizes thyroid function, which gets your metabolism rocking and rolling, helps you with appetite and craving control. All-day focused energy comes with that, plus the reduced cortisol levels helps you get a better night's sleep. So get out to Supplement Superstores, tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They'll knock 30% off the 213 Complex. Find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley for i3 Broadband, the internet provider in the Pauley household. I think you'd love it if you had them as well. We've got the 2 gig package at our home, 2 gig upload, 2 gig download mirrored, and we're spending less money than we did with the cable company for lesser service. Plus, right now, they've got savings over $400 beyond their already low standard pricing. You got questions? They've got answers. Call 877-976-0711, and they've got people there who can answer all your questions, or head to their website, i3broadband.com.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200 and always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door, the most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com. 314-781-5200.
Get ready, St. Louis, for the annual Community Health and Wellness Day on Saturday, September 6th, 2025, from 10:30 a.m. till 2 p.m. at 4700 West Florissant and Shreve Avenue. Free health screenings, free food, line dancing, door prizes, pony rides, petting zoo, double dutch, and more. For a mammogram appointment, call 1-800-600-3606 and press 2. See you at 4700 West Florissant. Visit newsunnymountmbc.org for more information.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gashouse Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Well, Bernie, I know it is St. Louis, Missouri, and I know we no longer have an NFL team, but we still love it. People here still watch the NFL. It's one of the better markets in the country, in fact. And so because training camp is ongoing right now, we thought it'd be a good idea to talk a little football. And joining us now on the Gashouse Gang is Aaron Schatz, NFL analyst and chief analytics officer with FTN Fantasy. Aaron, thank you for joining the Gashouse Gang today. How are you?
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. I'm doing well. I made it through another off season. I'm ready for a football season.
Aaron, excuse me, I can't talk now, which is a rarity for me. Aaron, Bernie Miklasz, it's good to revisit with you again. As you know, big admirer of your analysis and have followed your work for a long time. So I respect what you have to say, but it's just great to talk to you. I wanted to make sure you knew that how much I appreciate that. We appreciate that. Anyway, we carry the Kansas City Chiefs games here on KMOX, and the TV ratings for the Chiefs in St. Louis are phenomenal. So there's a lot of interest in the Chiefs, and basically I wanted to get your assessment of where they are, and I think the question everyone has, the number one is, can they get the explosiveness back in that offense?
Yeah, I think that they can. Obviously, they need health, but if they have Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice to, get the short stuff, but Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy to stretch the field, and they have a better offensive line to keep Mahomes upright, they should be able to get a little bit more on the explosive plays. I mean, I think the thing about the Chiefs is that they were so ridiculously lucky last year during the regular season that they're likely to be a better team and win fewer games because they're not going to have the kind of sort of ridiculous end of game things happen for them that happened last season, but they may be a better team overall.
And so they are an interesting team because it's the NFL, and as long as you have the quarterback, you have a shot, right? But there are people who say, well, the Chiefs' time really is done. They've won their last Super Bowl, and I have heard a few people say that you've got Philadelphia and Denver's a team that you might want to look out for moving forward. So you would not argue that the Chiefs, by any long shot, are done winning Super Bowls?
No, I like the Broncos this year. I like that their offense was surprisingly good last year. Their defense is fantastic. I still think the Chiefs are the favorites to win that division. As far as the conference goes, I like the Ravens and the Bills a little bit more, but it's all about probabilities here, and the probabilities for the Chiefs are still high. I think we have them 5th or 6th in our Super Bowl odds.
Aaron, I wanted to follow up on that and ask you about the Bills. Obviously a very good team, but they haven't been able to get past the Chiefs. And based on what they did this offseason and your evaluation, have they done enough that would give you more confidence that they will be able to take that final leap and get to the Super Bowl? It's easier said than done because the AFC is loaded, but what do you think?
Yeah, I do think so. I mean, look, some of it is just things happen in certain games. It's not that the Bills were particularly weak in certain areas, but just certain things happen in certain games, and Dalton Kincaid couldn't, catch the ball on 4th down, and they didn't get a first down on a 4th and 1. Like, little things happen that cause loss. But there's no question they did try to address the question of getting to Mahomes, and they added defensive linemen. There's 4 new defensive linemen there, 2 defensive tackles, including the 2nd-round pick TJ Sanders. Plus, they added Joey Bosa and Michael Hoyt. And so hopefully, they're hoping, obviously, that gives them a little bit more pass rush. But, like you said, if you've got a quarterback, you're in the running. And the fact is, the 4 best quarterbacks in the league are all in the AFC. And those teams are honestly all Super Bowl contenders, even the Bengals, even though their defense is pretty bad.
I would argue that with all of these new young quarterbacks that have come into the league, not just the first-year guys, but the second-year guys as well, I would say, and this is coming from somebody who was a Bears fan, I would still say that Caleb Williams is still the one that is might end up being the biggest story just because we don't really know what direction that's going to go. There's a lot of hope with him, but there's also a lot of doubt that has started to creep in. As you look at Caleb Williams and what the Bears have done during the offseason, fixing the offensive line, presumably. What do you think? And getting a new head coach, how do you see his progress happening?
I think that the new offensive line in Chicago is a little overrated because so much of the issue with the pass rush there is the clock that is inside of Caleb Williams' head. And you can have better blocking. But, by ESPN's pass blocking metrics that are based on the next-gen tracking, the Bears were not terrible last year. It's just Caleb Williams just holds on to the ball too long. So I think the coach might play a larger role here by designing an offense that gets the ball out quicker and teaching Caleb Williams to get the ball out quicker. That's what he needs to take a step forward.
Aaron, I wanted to ask you about, by the way, our guest is the outstanding Aaron Schatz from FTN Fantasy here on KMOX. I wanted to ask you about the NFC. Okay, Philadelphia defending Super Bowl champion. Who are the biggest threats to the Eagles in the NFC? And do you see a potential surprise team out there, or at least a team that you and your projection model likes better than maybe the general public?
Detroit obviously is a huge contender. We like San Francisco a lot this year, given how many injuries they had last year. And the fact that they really weren't that bad last year. Despite going 6-11, they were 14th in our DVOA stats, and they were top 10 until the last week or two of the season. And they will be better than that this year. But I think everybody sort of understands that. The sort of surprise team we have, Washington I'll also mention, very good. The other surprise team we'll mention in the NFC is the Arizona Cardinals. I don't think they're really a Super Bowl contender, but they're definitely a playoff contender. That defense has added a lot of pieces and should be much better this year. And overall, that team was a little underrated last year, despite the fact that they had a losing record. They were like 13th in DVOA. And so if the offense is about the same and the defense is better, that's a team that's going to contend for a playoff spot.
How much, and you mentioned the Detroit Lions, how much does losing Ben Johnson and their defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, how much does it matter to them?
I think it matters, but I don't think it matters. It's not going to destroy them. Teams have lost two coordinators in the past. Some of them have taken a step back. The 2005 Patriots are a good example. All other things being equal, you would expect a team that loses coordinators to take a step back. But obviously, they've done a lot with the Lions, and they're going to have a lot happen to them that makes them still a very dangerous team. The defense in particular, because they were so unhealthy last year. Now, here's what's interesting about the Lions. The offense was among the healthiest in the league. So while their defense is going to have fewer injuries and be better, their offense is likely going to have more injuries, and they'll have to overcome those.
Aaron, we couldn't end the interview, not that it's coming to an end, we'll probably have another question, but we can't let you get out of here without asking you a question about the Dallas Cowboys. I do believe there are like federal laws that mandate we must ask you about the Dallas Cowboys. But seriously, in all the bluster about Jerry Jones, they still seem to have a lot of talent. I didn't understand the Brian Schottenheimer hire, but that doesn't mean it was a bad hire. What is your take on the Cowboys? Do they have enough talent to overcome some of the weird stuff that goes on there?
Maybe. Nobody believes in the Brian Schottenheimer hire. And I think a lot of it has to do with who they get from Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's been very inconsistent through his career with some really great seasons and some bad seasons as well. And last year, it was limited sample size because of the injury, but it was not good until the sample. But the year before that, MVP candidate. So, who are they getting at quarterback? And then also, what's the health of the defense? I'm not thinking here about Parsons and the need to get him signed and all that, but I'm talking about the cornerbacks where Trevon Diggs injured last year, Deron Bland injured last year, Siobhan Revell, the rookie, injured, Kalen Carson injured, Kaiir Elam from Buffalo, not good, and then signed. What are they getting out of their cornerback play? Are they getting stars or are they getting, not very good?
All right, I have to ask you about Aaron Rodgers because he is with a new team again, played last couple of seasons with the Jets. Now he's off to Pittsburgh, and the Jets and Steelers have traded quarterbacks. So how do you see Aaron Rodgers? Is he still good or no?
No, he was a little bit below average last year and is a year older this year. And he has this aura around him, but you really have to think of him the way you think of Geno Smith. In fact, right now, I probably would take Geno Smith, who's also old, but has been good, not necessarily last year, but the couple of years before that, was better, didn't have the Achilles injury and all that. So, I think the Pittsburgh, they're getting about the same performance at quarterback that they had last year. He really wasn't much different from Russell Wilson last year.
What do you think of Fields?
I am not a Fields believer. I think we need to stop waiting for Fields to happen. It's not going to happen. It's been like 5 years already, four years. This will be the 5th year. If it's going to happen, this is not the offense for it to happen with the Jets. And I think that the Jets are kind of in a holding pattern. They've locked down their best young players, and now they're waiting to get a quarterback in next year's
draft. This one's sort of coming out of left field, but if you could name maybe the 2 or 3 teams that over the last couple of years, but maybe even as based on last year in the offseason, who are the teams in this league that most bewilder and baffle Aaron Schatz as far as what in the heck are they doing?
Like Miami.
I was wondering about that
this the last few days. Like, what is going on? Like, I know that they, has built so much around speed, and then this offseason it's been much more about strength. But I mean, Mike McDaniel talks like he's like coming from the land of doom, and Tagovailoa and Tyreek can't seem to get along, and they have no cornerbacks at all. Like, I don't know what was the point of the Jalen Ramsey trade. Like, I don't really know what Miami is trying to do there.
Well, I really like their head coach too, and I root for him. So I hope he has success, but I have a lot of doubts about them. Aaron Schatz, tell us about the Football Almanac, which, by the way, is available at ftnfantasy.com/almanac. You can get it on Amazon. Tell people about it. The new version for 2025 is out.
Yeah, this is our big book that we've done ever since we were Football Outsiders 20 years. We've been doing this, chapters on every team, the most accurate team projections, fantasy football projections, very accurate from Jeff Radcliffe, who's won awards, all kinds of advanced stats, film work, jokes and wits, and our usual writing about where teams are going in 2025. It's all there, one big book. So yeah, ftnfantasy.com/almanac.
Or you can get it on Amazon. Aaron Schatz, good to talk some football with you. We are looking forward to the start of the football season, and it's great that training camp is well underway. Thank you, Aaron.
All right, thanks. Have me on.
Aaron Schatz, get that Football Almanac for 2025, as he mentioned, ftnfantasy.com/almanac or on Amazon. And Bernie, as we hit the break here on the Gashouse Gang, I know there are some people that you want to get a response to, some folks who have chimed in on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. But I think first we need to hear a little bit more about our friends with Saliga.
Of course, I'm happy to talk about Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer. The Saliga family has owned this business continuously since 1927. Dan Saliga, the current owner, operator of this great and proud family business. And I just love that. I mean, one family has taken care of generations of St. Louis families for nearly 100 years. In today's world, that is so unique and that is so special. That kind of continuity and a tradition of excellence. And the Miklas family has been calling on Saliga now for, a decade and a half at least. And I can assure you that this Daikin Comfort dealer, they stand for the values that you hope to get when you reach out to a business to help you, which is integrity, prompt service, just reliable in the way they deal with you. They're consistent. Their professionalism is outstanding. Their knowledge is outstanding. When they come into your home, totally classy. And all of those things are wonderful. But maybe the thing that stands out to me in our many experiences with Saliga Heating and Cooling is that they could come into our home. I don't know what's going on with our air conditioning or heating. I have no idea. I have no knowledge. It would be so easy for them to talk me into something. Well, you need to buy this or we need to do that. And usually that would be, say, a really expensive thing. They're the exact opposite. They think, well, look, you don't have to buy that boiler. Okay, yours is good for another 2 to 3 years, and we'll keep checking on it. But save your money right now. And how hard is that to find? And with that in mind, one more thing about Saliga Heating and Cooling. They have a priority club, which is a maintenance plan that will save you money. It has saved us money by extending the life of your current equipment. So check all of that out. It's SaligaHeatingandCooling.com, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Thank you.
An important message from S&L Coins. S&L Coins pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver, silver plating, gold and silver bullion. Get a quote with a call to S&L at 544-3600. S&L Coins, 544-3600. Or visit S&L Coins at 9300 Gravois, just east of McKenzie. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call S&L 544-3600. Save on prescriptions, discounts at restaurants, hotels, shopping, and more with Quiver River Electric's Co-op Connections program. Register for a free Co-op Connections account. Download the app on your smartphone, and you're on your way to savings. For more on this program that gives you incredible discounts on everyday expenses, visit quiverriver.com. Click on Member Resources, then select Co-op Connections, or call us at 1-800-392-3709. A tip from Quiver River Electric Cooperative.
Get ready, St. Louis. 2 acclaimed performers will headline a summer finale on the Muni stage, Thursday, August 28th. International music icon Diana Ross and multi-Grammy Award-winning artist John Baptiste. And this is your chance to win a premium VIP experience to see the show. VIP includes a pair of box seats, a pair of VIP pre-party tickets, free drinks at the intermission bar, and a free parking pass. Register now online at KMOX.com/contest for your chance to win. If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Your home sold guaranteed, or I'll buy it. Hi, I'm Gloria Liu, broker owner at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And for over 20 years, I've been getting my home sellers the most money for their home and selling faster than the average agent. So when you're ready to sell your home or have questions, call me.
And I'm Debbie Monterey. For years, I've been telling you about Gloria Liu and why you should call her. Gloria has solutions and programs for every seller because she understands that every situation is different. Call Gloria and get your free instant home valuation, choose from multiple cash offers, or sell with certainty this summer because Gloria will guarantee upfront and in writing to sell your home at 100% of market value, or she will pay the difference. Hey, the St. Louis market is shifting. Now is a great time to call and get to know Gloria Liu like I have. Call 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Now back to the Gashouse Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling and by Anderson Hospital on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Pitch. Arenado swings. He hits it deep. Way back to left field. It might go. It's Gunner. A tie game. Arenado comes back to tie the game in the 9th inning.
Bernie Miklasz, Chris Ranji on the Gashouse Gang on KMOX. Cardinals back at it tomorrow with a series against the Cubs at Busch Stadium. But we are with you for a few more moments on this show. And As you already know, you can visit with us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Leave us a comment or a question. And even on Ollie Day, when we have Oliver Marmol, the manager of the Cardinals, at noon on Tuesdays, he will answer some of your questions as well. This one comes from Jim, Bernie. And Jim would like to know if there's any chance you would like to revisit your offseason discussion of just go ahead and trading Arenado for Stroman, and the Cardinals will be done with both contracts now and done with the angst and drama. Just tip your cap that I was right. You don't even have to say anything. This is Jim. What do you think of that,
Hi, Jim. Yeah, there was no logic whatsoever in the Cardinals trading Arenado for Stroman, which, by the way, was one of these New York tabloid gossip things. There was never any substance to it. But if they could have offloaded the contract, but the thing of it is, I think the trade was more fantasy than anything. I don't know what the obsession is with Stroman. I've had people even recently say, well, you think the Cardinals should pick up Marcus Stroman? The Yankees released him. Well, let's see. He's old. He doesn't strike people out anymore. He gives up too many home runs. He had an ERA over 6 last season. And when they took him out of the rotation, he pouted and didn't show up for work. Yeah, that's exactly what the Cardinals need. Anyway, so
that's what.
Well, no, but I just love. We all do this, man. We all do this, but with Arenado, there's been 20 million rumors, and there is a small percentage of Cardinals fans, only small. They buy every rumor and assume it is 100% factual, and it's clickbait, is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know why people are so gullible, but it's fun. It's fun to talk
what it
about
is?
Potential trades.
Bernie, they're just people are so desperate for something big to happen.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. And sometimes it's ridiculous, but I guess on the other hand, I kind of get it sometimes. The Cardinals did, by the way, we're hearing this. Don't know if this is a big transaction or not, or if it will end up being, but they have been awarded the waiver claim on right-handed pitcher Jorge Alcala from the Boston Red Sox. So he throws hard, 97 to 100, walks a lot of guys. So suppose we'll see how that turns out, Bernie. But that's a new addition for the Cardinals.
Well, I would think Chaim Bloom knows a lot about him. So that gives me confidence that this guy is worth a look.
Definitely.
Had a good ERA last year, not good this season.
Bernie, so let's do this again Tuesday. I mentioned the Oliver Marmol Day. We have him every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, and you are going to be back for that. But even before that, you're on Redbird Rush Hour today, correct? With Kevin Wheeler at 5?
Yeah, looking forward to it. So I'm sorry to KMOX listeners, you can't get rid of me, unfortunately. But
no, we want you.
I'm happy to be here.
You're here, man. So 5 o'clock, Bernie and Kevin Wheeler for the Redbird Rush Hour. Then we have the KMOX Soccer Showcase at 6 o'clock to 8. And by the way, you should go out to Hot Shots on South Lindbergh for the KMOX Soccer Showcase. 6 to 8 o'clock tonight, Hot Shot South Lindbergh. So anything you missed today, the podcast will be available. You can find it on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Odyssey app, wherever you get your podcast. Just search for Gashouse Gang. Bernie, good to talk with you again, and we'll do it Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Love it.
Bernie Miklasz, Chris Ranji on the Gashouse Gang. Have a terrific Thursday. The show's back tomorrow with Matt Pauley and Mike Claiborne at noon on 104.1 FM KMOX.